Hello and welcome to Cash in the Attic, the show that helps you turn those unwanted antiques and collectibles into something a lot more useful. Today I'm meeting a lady who wants to clear one space and fill another. Coming up on Cash in the Attic, I dream up a scenario we'd all like to see. What about if there were two vicars in the auction, outbidding one another? Absolutely desperate for that on foot in the wall. I rescue the lady of the house from our expert Paul and his rotten old jokes.
Well, it's not all plain sailing at auctions, as you know.
Come on, I'm taking you away from this man. Come on, let's go. Lest we ever forget, I was once a choir boy. So next up is a self-portrait of me in the old days. I'm saying it before you guys do. Getting quick before the final hammer falls.
160.
We're near Reading with someone who's hoping that her years of collecting will help her with a fresh start. Eileen Whitehead grew up in Suffolk and managed restaurants and hotels before joining the care industry, where she met her good friend Barbara, or Babs. Eileen is a mother and grandmother, and for 7 years she's been married to Mike, who has 2 children of his own, making for some big family get-togethers. Eileen loves to collect, especially wooden objects, and I've heard that her new home will actually be a log cabin, so there's quite a theme going on here. Before she moves, she wants us to help her declutter and raise cash for some high-tech gadgets. Hey, morning.
Hey.
How are you? For guidance, we'll all look to our expert Paul Hayes, who has almost 30 years' experience in antiques. Aha! Look at you two. The perfect ladies. Flower arranging. This is what you do in your spare time then, is it? You Eileen?
I am.
Nice to meet you.
And you too.
You must be Babs.
I'm Babs.
Good to see you. So how come you two know each other?
Mainly through our jobs when we first started about 19, 20 years ago. We used to meet each other and then after work we'd go for a drink, sort of seal it a little bit, our friendship.
That often seals a friendship.
Yes,
it can ruin some as well, but there we go, let's not get into that. Why have you called us in here?
Because my husband's asked me to declutter a little bit, because I collect quite a few things. And also in a couple of years we're going to move into a log cabin which we've had built, and a lot of the stuff we just can't take with us.
So this money's going to go towards the log cabin?
Well, for log cabin, it's a 3D TV that I would like.
Wow, she's a bit modern, isn't she?
Isn't she just?
Yeah. Gosh, and how much are you hoping to raise?
About £1,000.
Has she got a load of stuff then, has she?
Oh, definitely.
You didn't have to think about that, straight in there.
No, I didn't. She's always had the odd bits, collectibles all the time, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's got loads of stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, we're very lucky because we've got expert Paul Hayes here.
Oh,
he's
good.
arrived with me. He's already having a good look around. So you concentrate downstairs.
Okay.
And you follow me. Come on, Eileen. You've heard that before, haven't you?
I am.
Well, it seems only fair to start as we mean to go on. We've got our work cut out today, so what's our first pick of the pops? There's our resident expert,
Hello.
Paul.
How are you?
Eileen.
All right.
Very well, thank you.
Nice to see you.
And you?
What have you found?
Well, I must admit, I'm all at sea here, actually. Can you see what I did there, Owen?
He's only been in the house a quarter of an hour.
I found a really nice watercolour, actually, a nice marine subject. Do you know where this has come from?
I actually found it in an attic of an old hotel and asked everybody if they wanted it and they said no, so I said thank you.
Right. Well, do you know, it's amazing what you do find in the attics.
Do we know where that is?
I always thought it was Cornwall or somewhere.
Is it a respected painter then?
This looks like an Earp. Can you see that? E-A-R-P. Now, Henry Earp was a prolific painter, but they were a family of painters. And they painted down the Devon and the Cornwall coast. And it's recognisable by this sort of mountain structure that juts out into the sea.
Yeah, well done.
Yes, but they have that in Kent as well. I've seen that in Broadstairs. And the family actually painted the northeast as well. But very much a prolific painter. And the idea was that if you visited these seaside towns or you're interested in boats like yourself, you could buy these wonderful marine watercolours. And the only reason I knew it was an Earp, it's very, very recognisable by the light blue skyline.
Is it original?
This is an original watercolour. They're very enjoyable items to have. This, for me, sums up the mid-19th century. And you have a marinescape here, which are always popular. But we have a transitional ship here. Can you see that? Now, that's half steam, half sail. So that dates at maybe 1850, just at the time where they were transferring over to the steam engines.
So go on then, how much is it worth?
Well, his work can range from about £100 up to maybe 300, that sort of price range. So I think for an auction estimate, if I said 100 to 150 to give it a chance, I'm sure if someone picks up on the artist I think you've got a really good chance of getting a good price for it.
Oh, good, yeah.
Well, it's not all plain sailing at auctions, as you know, Alan.
Come on, I'm taking you away from this man. Come on, let's go. £100 to £150 is a chunky start, so we'll forgive Paul for now. Babs is upstairs in the master bedroom where she selected this locket on a chain. The locket is set with moss agate and poppy jasper plaques, but the Belcher chain is Victorian gold. Paul values the item at £100 to £150 before picking up an Italian lady he's been admiring in the lounge.
Eileen, now then, where do these figures come from?
These actually came from a shop that we nicknamed the House of Horrors.
Right.
So it's outside a restaurant of mine, and they sold awful things like, you know, blue ducks with gold beaks and things like that. And the girl came in one day and she said, I don't have a job anymore, he's going to close it. So I said, oh dear, what's he going to do then? And she said, well, I'm going to get whatever I can for it. So I said, oh, okay, well, I'll give you £1 for that. And she went, fine. And I said, and this one, oh, I'll give you 99p. And I actually got it for £1.99.
So that was a complete bargain. It's a £1.99.
£1.99 for the pair.
Right, well, do you know what? You hit the nail on the head there, actually, when you said restaurant. This is exactly the sort of thing you'd find in a restaurant or a hotel, anywhere that has a large area. And the idea was, really, they would just fill a space. But they're Italian, and they're copied from the original Meissen, which is German porcelain. And these figures would have been identical, really, to ones made 1750s, 1800, that sort of time. But you can tell by the casting, these are very modern. You can see, on the originals, you see every eyelash, every fingernail, that sort of thing. These are very sort of numb, as they call them in the trade. So I'd say maybe 1950s or even later, Capodimonte, Italian pottery. Well, I noticed this one has been a little bit damaged.
Oh, she'd been broken twice, actually. I think she broke an arm or something, but I had her restored, and then she got sort of nudged again.
OK, well, these are only ever really bought for decorative value, and I can see a nice pair of vases, somebody that wants them just to fill a wall, really, or fill a gap. And I think you could be approaching around the £30 mark. I mean, how does that sound? Sort of 30 to 50.
Still made a profit, didn't I?
Made a massive profit. Wish you could do that every day, you'd be laughing.
It's good profit, isn't it?
Well, let's make sure they don't get damaged anymore and leave them somewhere safe, and let's keep looking.
OK.
The Capodimonte style figurines could make a very nice profit for Eileen, but we'll need something more substantial if we're to make the £1,000 target. While Paul cracks on with the search, I want to hear more about these two friends and their work together.
Well, we both belong to an agency, and we were taught care, and you have quite a lot of training to do in it and things. Babs primarily stayed in the office environment, and I went out into the field to deal with clients and, you know, staff out in the field.
Is it a fulfilling job?
Oh yes, it is very fulfilling. Yes, yes it is. You sometimes see people right through to, you know, the end of their lives, and you try and give them some sort of comfort. Other people, you see them get better and sort of progress. So yes, it is actually.
How about you, Babs? Do you like your job?
I do. It's just a sense of achievement that you've done what is necessary. We work with social services as well, so it's quite intense sometimes.
Well, it's obvious that you enjoy working together, but I presume you do play together as well?
Well, Babs and I like to play.
Some serious playing then. Yeah, what sort of things do you get up to?
Well, we like to have a little drink now and then, and we like to go out, and we've been on a couple of holidays together.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, you know, little tiny ones.
So where have you been on holiday so far?
We went to Bruges with my mother, my stepdaughter and myself, and then we went to Sweden when my husband was over there, didn't we?
That was good.
So yeah, we're going here
We
and
have a
there.
get together with 4 of us sometimes, sit in here, have a laugh and a drink.
And a couple of others join us.
I don't think I could cope with 4 of you. 2 of you is bad enough. Listen, all this is going to change when you move, isn't it?
Only to a degree, because where we're going to, it's not that far away. It's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and there's plenty of room for Babs and, you know, Ken, her husband, to come and stay, and then we'll come down here too anyway, so, no, it's just a road, isn't it?
How about you, Babs? Are you willing to drive an hour and a half?
Well, don't worry, I'll be going.
Yeah.
Are you going to miss her?
Yes, I will miss her, yeah. But we'll see each other quite a lot, so, and it'll be more quality time because she can come and stay with me and I can come up here.
Did you not consider putting the, the log cabin here? Well, listen, you want £1,000 to put towards that log cabin and hopefully a 3D TV.
Yeah.
So I think we should get on with it. Also, Paul's probably wondering where we are, so come on, let's go.
Okay.
Eileen inherited her father's passion for boats, and so looking around her collectibles, there's often a maritime theme. Paul's just found a good example of that, with these 20th century wooden sailing ships, trawlers and accompanying figures. He prices the assortment together at £100 to £200 before joining Babs up in the spare room.
I'll tell you something, Babs, there's lots of dolls and teddy bears and things.
She likes her dolls.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, Paul, what do you think of this?
Ah, now then, let's have a closer look. Now then, was that something that she made, or had made for her, do you think?
It's a friend of hers that had a large one and had a miniature made for her because she liked it so much.
Well, it's a miniature chaise longue, and that translates as a long chair. I mean, has it been bought for a window display or something like that?
No, I just think she liked it and wanted one, that was all, so...
Well, this has a multitude of uses, really, and I've seen these in jewellers' windows. You can imagine covered in velvet with some nice gold items. It's very much a visual prop. But of course, you could use it for your teddy bear or your doll as well. So this is actually made for her. Was it deliberately for that particular teddy bear or just for a display?
Well, I think it was for display. She just keeps the teddy bear on there now, so...
Right. And how long ago was that, do you think?
Quite a few years ago now. I can't remember exactly, but she's had it a very long time.
All right, so it's 20th century at least.
At least.
But it would be part of a salon suite. Now, a salon suite,
Right.
You'd have a chaise longue, you'd have a stool, you'd have two side chairs, a settee, and this would all be in your parlour, your best room in a Victorian house. Well, if I said around the £50 mark, sort of 40 to 60 as an auction estimate, how does that sound?
That sounds good.
Well, do you know what? I think it's the only chaise longue I've actually managed to carry on my own, I think.
Well, we'll soon discover if the only chaise longue you can carry single-handed will tempt these bidders at the auction.
Being modelled there by Amy on our right, lot 44, add 55, 60, 5, 70, 5, 80.
Shame to unseat the teddy, but it could do very well. It looks as if Eileen's Berkshire home has many more collectibles still to show up. We're only a third of the way to our target, so perhaps we need to get more aggressive with our hunt. Scary, aren't I? But the next item is much closer to home, an oil on-board portrait of a sweet little chorister. Yes, I know what you're thinking, but this was painted in the 1950s, and I'm not sweet. Paul reckons it may be worth between £60 and £80. Heading out to the conservatory, he goes on to find more evidence of Eileen's collecting streak, or should I say, competitive streak.
Oh, hi, Paul. I see you found my games then.
Yeah, these are great, aren't they? Who's collected all these?
Me.
You've got quite a collection here of lovely toys. I mean, are you a big chess fan?
No.
You don't play at all?
No, I don't play. My father used to play. I just thought of all little figurines and the little men at the back there.
And where would you have got these from? Was it like antique centres or?
Picked them up at car boot sales, charity shops, sometimes little antique places, yeah.
Right, so these really you bought for ornamentation?
Yeah.
Well, these are quite a nice set, actually. I mean, you've got four very similar sets of chess pieces. These represent ivory and ebony, then you've got sandalwood, and you've got boxwood. But these are like a resin, like a plastic resin. You can see the seam running up the side here. So they're really decorative value only, not just like a precious material. But chess is one of the oldest games that we know. It goes back to ancient India. And they used to represent their armies using elephants and so on. Some wonderful ivory and ebony carvings. Have any of these actually got the boards with them, do you know?
Yes, I do have some of the boards, yes.
Right, of course, you couldn't display them, but that's very important when you come to sell them. You've also got some Skittles here, which are great. Now, Skittles are great fun. Did you ever play with these?
Oh, yes, I have, yes. These ones here, we used to play with the children when they were young.
Well, you know, they're great fun, and you mentioned they're with children as well. I mean, they're the only games really that you can play with that doesn't involve batteries and computers these days. You know, it's so nice to see items like this. Well, I think you've got quite a collection here, actually. I mean, I love these Skittles. You've got these 4 chess sets. I mean, if you said sort of £20 a set for those, you know, it's quite a lot of money. And so I can easily see 100, 150 on this shelf.
Yeah.
Does that sound all right to you?
Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad, yeah.
So we'll take that just for now, not to confuse matters with the rest of the items, and I think we could do quite well, actually.
Okay.
Great, all right, so we'll let someone else pack them up.
Okay.
Go on, let's keep looking.
The serried ranks of Skittles and chess pieces could play out very nicely in the auction, where the £100 to £150 would be a real boost. Eileen has what you might call eclectic tastes, and here's another example of just that. An antique glass perfume bottle. It has a silver collar, which is a plus, but there's slight damage, which affects the price, of course. Paul values it at £20 to £30.